Hello, everyone, and welcome to Moonride. This is Dave Johnson, channeling the man of the moon today, and I want to see who's going to win this battle. Jack Smith versus Aileen Cannon. It's kind of like Star Wars or something. I feel like there should be secession music playing in the background from that show. By the way, take a look at some of my videos, a couple videos. These are from Pyramid 4, and they're more about trans channeling, less about politics. One of them will actually teach the channel. So I hope you'll take a look, as well as my website. I've changed everything. You can see some new offerings. Let's take a look at Trump, or should I say Jack Smith versus Aileen Cannon. And I think it is Aileen, not Eileen. So here's the Donald. It is funny because I keep saying Donald because he's kind of like the tornado in the middle. Jack Smith showing up, big old long sword. So here comes here he comes with a sword. What do you do with that sword? So what I just get from Jack Smith is really skillful. He's very skillful operator. This guy's got a it's like he takes the sword and he almost like makes a perfect square. And it's just like kind of like samurai ninja technique. So he's still doing his ninja techniques. Oh, this is interesting. He does something with the lights. It's almost like he takes the sword that he's carrying and makes it like almost like create light from the universe. It's a light that comes from the above. Oh, okay. It's pretty obvious. He's just going to shed so much light on what's going on here. So I hope y'all don't get too worried about Aileen Cannon. She is no match for this guy. He's going to go circles around her. And she's just going to, again, we're going to bring to light every single decision she makes is going to be scrutinized. She knows it's going to be scrutinized, and she's, um, nowhere near his experience. So he's already planned on all of this. He's already planned on this judge being in that space. It is airtight. Then let's give him some credit. This is why it took so long for him to bring these charges. It's just because he is so incredibly thorough. He is not worried about this case at all, and he's not afraid of Aileen Cannon. He laughs in her face when she shows up, like, oh my God, you're kidding me. It's like a kindergartner trying to play basketball with, LeBron James. It's just like a joke for him. At the same time, he's very serious. So it's not like he's smirking or arrogant or thinks he's smarter than he is. He is absolutely like an agent of truth, and he's spreading like the evidence. It's like 52, like a deck of cards, like evidence, 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 evidence. There's just so much evidence. I mean, that's kind of, I think, good for all of us to know. Justice should depend on evidence, not on somebody's political position. And there is so much evidence here. It's really going to work in our favor, and I'm going to say in democracy's favor. So, what about Aileen? She's looking very dizzy, like, oh, what do I do? I don't know. Or she's looking kind of dingy and foolish, like she really has no idea what she's gonna do, and she's under a lot of pressure. She's supposed to follow through with this case, and she, Trump supporters want her to take control, but she doesn't know what she's doing. So she's actually kind of balancing, like, hey, maybe I'm not good enough for this job and I'm going to disappoint everybody anyway. But then again, Trump supporters want me in there and they want me to mess with it. So what should I do? This is an important evolution for her. Do I want to be a real judge, or do I want to be this sycophant? And it's career ending if she, I know they're put in those positions for life, but it could be really such a bad job that she does that, they just, I don't know, reprimand her or steal cases away from her, or, they can be impeached, I think. She's at the very least concerned with her reputation. She wants to at least appear fair. Although last year she didn't care about appearing fair. So something has happened for her. She has some care to maintaining her position socially or just practically speaking. So what's she going to do, Aileen? Okay, so just imagine like you're in your household and you're trying to cook dinner and you got three pots going, and then the kids are screaming and playing nearby, and then somebody comes in the door and you have to go answer the door and the food's burning. It's like this for her. It's this complete inability to manage herself and to manage the requirements of the job. She just doesn't have the concentration or the boundaries, the normal boundaries that we have. I'm sure all of you have been in the situation that I've described, where you're trying to cook and people are coming in and you set some rules. Okay, children, today you're going to play in the playroom and not distract mom. And actually, you need to go get the door for mom. And, all of you have managed to create these normal boundaries, right? Because she had no choice. She really hasn't had a, a life where she has to balance things. It seems like somebody studying law would, but if you have the ability, the money, you just go and focus on the law. You just don't do anything else. You don't have a job. There's no real life. That's her. It's almost like saying, she's probably better as a chef than as a judge. A chef you could learn on the job. You can't learn on the job as a judge. And she really is quite a superficial person. It's the way that politics are framed for her. There is no depth to them. There is, well, I read the Bible and I know what the truth is. There's no or should I say I read the King James version and that's the correct version, and there's no other version, and that's the other that. She's quite tearful. So I'm gonna ask, is she gonna give up the if she gonna give up the trial? Is she gonna recuse herself? Well, she's very tearful, but she's kind of nodding yes. I don't think the decision is completely made, but I think at some point in the future, it's going to become obvious to her that she cannot handle this case. And although she would really like to, for her egotistical reasons, she she won't be able to do it. And there'll be enough conservatives on her back saying you can't handle this and you're making us look biased, that she'll eventually make this decision to she keeps nodding yes. So are you going to? Yes. Well, okay. Maybe I shouldn't have asked twice. Let's ask a third time because now I'm getting a totally different image. It's like a zigzag line. It makes me think that actually it won't be that straightforward. It won't be immediate. There will be social pressure on her to recuse because now she's at a distance and she's kind of smiling. All right. So, Spirit, will a new judge take over this case? Okay, I'm looking at a face that looks like Sotomayor, and she's saying yes. Someone new will take it. Seeing Jack Smith again, and he's nodding that someone new will take the case. I'm not necessarily sure that Aileen Cannon will just give it up for ethical reasons. I think there'll be a lot of pressure put on her and she will eventually give it up. I think it will be a zigzag line. It will not happen right away. She might make a few really bad decisions that cause this to happen. And it will be embarrassing enough for her, and there will be enough pressure on her that she will eventually have no choice to change the the judgeship. So, what about anything more we can get on Jack or the case? Let's ask about Trump. What's he thinking? Oh, it's like a roulette wheel. He's always put big money on 22 black, and that's what's going on now. He doesn't know any other game in town than this kind of, blustering and risking. Okay, he's in a casino. Um, Now, I'm not sure how many of you know this, but Trump was actually found guilty of discrimination in two cases, one in Las Vegas and one in Atlantic City, before he was a presidential candidate. He was found guilty of discrimination. So it's kind of ironic because here we are in this casino, and the feds are breaking in the door of the casino, and Trump is mid roll, and it's almost like he's saying, "But my money's on the table. Do I get to finish this round? Are you really going to arrest me before I collect?" And they do arrest him. There's protesters outside. Okay, the protesters are protesting. And there's Aileen Cannon in like a bubble. And she's smiling. Oh, and Trump thinks she's going to be helpful. But then, like a bubble, she floats away. Mm. Look, you can see Aileen Cannon as a sort of roadblock and as a problem, but we could also see Aileen Cannon as a sort of example. These are the kinds of issues that are coming before us as a society and as a culture, and it just those who are living in a different world and are creating a set of laws that are different for rich people. All of this needs to be exposed. We have to see the reality of what is going on, and it has to be sort of forced in everybody's face. Even conservatives will see that she is a very partisan person. And that's, I think, just essential for us to move forward in our democracy. So look at this. I hope you will look at this as very much of a hmm, almost like a movie about justice, right? And accept that we are participating in this movie because we are the citizens. Jack Smith has a lot of control in this, and we know that he has a lot of control because he doesn't need to go on TV and talk about it. Thanks so much for watching.